Well, if you want to stay on financial track for 2015, well, our next guest will help you with that. We've heard a lot of chatter about, well, let's be honest here, the lower gas prices, which is lower oil prices, which has gotten for a lot of people, well, they have no jobs. You know, a lot of people are losing their jobs, and the announcement of Target and whatnot. So Donna Carson joins us this morning. Donna Carson is a personal bankruptcy trustee. Not that we want to be talking about bankruptcy, but we need some help through this. Do you find there's some people who are scared about what's happening in our world today, economic-wise?
I think so, and I think most of the people that we're talking to right now, it isn't new. This isn't, the oil price dropped last month and all of a sudden I'm in trouble. It's debt that we've had for a while. This economic situation we're in now is maybe just adding to it, and it will probably create some problems, or could for some people down the road if we don't plan today for it. But we're not seeing people all of a sudden today with debt problems because of it. But
not
some
yet.
planning tips could go a long way to help those people that might be going through these layoffs.
We're going to get to some of those planning tips in a second. We have a call for you. Actually, it's a video call. Have a listen and have a look.
The sun is shining bright on Calgary consumers with the recent drop in gas prices fueling the charge. But questions are being raised about the grander effects of dropping oil prices. Already the fiscal landscape for oil companies and the Alberta government don't look as rosy. Understandably, the spillover from these shifts have some worried. The looming question for consumers is, what do you need to do to stay on a stable financial track for 2015? Is our current situation as sunny as we think?
Maybe not as sunny, Donna, but there are some tips that you can share with a few folks to maybe calm them down a little bit. Give some ideas of what we can do.
Planning, I think, is a big part. Planning for whether it's small things or big things, whether it's making lists before we go grocery shopping, planning our budget. So we have an idea of what we should be looking at each month, planning on, if we do have some debt right now, planning on how we are going to pay it down. There's lots of different options out there, so how do we plan for that so that it doesn't, even though, yes, I am a personal bankruptcy trustee, but that's not the only option that's out there, and we try to coach and help people to look at the other options to avoid a bankruptcy if they can.
What about those people who aren't directly affected by the oil and gas industry at this moment in time? What should they be doing?
Right now, I try to have your resume current, and that's something maybe, like Jody, our previous guest, having your resume current so that you're ready just in case. It's a good time to just step back and take a look at where you're at. What is my budget this month, and how am I going to stick to it just in case? Start to plan for those possible emergencies. Maybe, I'm not affected right now by the oil patch. I don't work in the oil patch maybe, but a different economic factor might affect me. So
indirectly, it might help. It might affect you as well.
Yeah, indirectly, yeah. Travel industry. Who knows where it's all going to affect. So, do I have that rainy day money set aside? Generally, we try to recommend 3 months of your bare minimum expenses. If I was off work, what would I still have to pay each month? And if I have 3 months of that set aside somewhere, that's a good general guide as far as a rainy day fund. Planning for some annual expenses, things that are going to come up every year. For some people, property taxes, or recently it was Christmas, or those things that happen once a year. It's much easier to plan for those. And being in January now is a good time to plan for the year and put away a little bit of money each month for those rather than a chunk come Christmas.
Sure. We have a video question for you as well too, Donna. Again, have a look and have a listen.
Hi, my name is Candice Bourgeois. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, and I notice right now that the hot topic in the news is the price of oil. So my question for your guest is, when is the best time that someone should be seeking help to deal with their financial difficulties?
Financial difficulties, advice.
In general, sooner than later, and financial advice might be just things like looking at your budget. It's not a big picture, oh my goodness, I'm bankrupt. It's just, so in general, sooner than later. If I'm finding that my gut is telling me that I'm nervous, or this just isn't all fitting for me. I need someone to just take a look at this, generally sooner than later. If there is a situation there, whether it be with your budget or with your debt, looking at it sooner may mean that there are more options for us to look at. Whereas if we wait until later, there may be only this many options. So in general, if something is saying to you, this just isn't all fitting for me, try to sit down with someone professional, and or even your family, just having an outside set of eyes looking at it for you.
Amber, does this make sense?
Oh, completely. I think it's really important to be prepared and be looking ahead, staying on track with your budget. I've really gotten a lot more into that in the last few months, and it's helped a lot.
Oh, I bet.
And having I find a more courageous, positive outlook towards your budget versus a fearful mindset, because I find if you're afraid and you're blocked, you create more of what you don't want versus having a more positive outlook.
I was meeting with a lady a couple of weeks ago, and she hadn't looked at her bank account, whether it be online or paper, for, I'm going to guess, a year maybe. And I said, you have to take that leap, and because if you don't know where you are, you're not going to know how to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah, and don't be surprised by what's happening around you. Plan for it.
Yeah.
It is Donna Carson, personal bankruptcy trustee, recent economic shift in our world. Boy, some great advice. So great to have you on set this morning.